Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's me, Raul Alejandro Mendoza, or the Nerd Chicano. Either way how you say it, it's all good here. And we're back again for another video as we look at another film in my collection. And today we're going to be looking at a Blu-ray from the Criterion collection, and that is none other than Vittorio de Sica's Lordi di Biciclette, aka Bicycle Thieves. Of course, I hope that everyone is doing well, and I hope that this video finds you happy, healthy, and in good spirits. Thank you all so much for the love on the videos as of late. It really does mean the world to me, and I hope that you all continue to enjoy the content. If you're a new subscriber, you're never subscribed to this channel and you're watching this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Clicking that notification bell so that way you don't miss a single piece of content that drops on the channel. Plus, let's leave a like on the video as well because it helps out a lot. Also, if you want to lend an extra helping hand, even though it is not mandatory but it is appreciated, I do have a Patreon set up that you can find exclusives like video essays and early access to videos like the one you're watching right now. To go and do all that, go to patreon.com/thenerdchicano and check out my tiers from the $3 tiers and above to get some cool stuff. So let's go ahead and look at this introduction from Criterion on the back, and then we'll look at the other stuff like the special features and talk about the packaging and whatnot. You already know how these reviews go, so let's go ahead and read this here. Bicycle Thieves, hailed around the world as one of the greatest movies ever made. The Academy Award-winning Bicycle Thieves, directed by Vittorio de Sica, defined an era in cinema. In poverty-stricken post-war Rome, a man is on his first day of a new job that offers hope for salvation for his desperate family when his bicycle, which he needs for work, is stolen. With his young son in tow, he sets off to track down the thief. Simple in construction and profoundly rich in human insight, Bicycle Thieves embodies the greatest strengths of the Italian neorealist movement: emotional clarity, social rectitude, and brutal honesty. Included in this edition from Criterion, you get a new 4K digital restoration with uncompressed mono soundtrack. Working with De Sica, a collection of interviews with screenwriter Suso Cecchi D'Amico, actor Enzo Staiola, and film scholar Callisto Consulich. Life as It Is, a program of the history of Italian neorealism featuring scholar Mike Schill. Documentary from 2003 on screenwriter and longtime Vittorio De Sica collaborator Cesare Zavattini. Directed by Carlo Luzzani. An optional English dub track, plus a booklet featuring an essay by critic Godfrey Chesrin and reminiscence by De Sica and his collaborators. The film comes in at spine 374 in the Criterion collection, and this is the front of it. This is the back. This is the spine. And then you go ahead and open it up and you get treated to a booklet, which is pretty hefty here. This is the front of the booklet. You have the child from the film, and then the back of it has the child and his father who gets his bicycle stolen. And you get some really cool stuff in here, man. I mean, you get a really nicely done, like those essays with some really interesting color patterns there. You get some stills with other like reminiscence and stuff, and some stills from the film. And you also get your transfer notes and your special thanks and all those acknowledgments and stuff right here. But it's a good booklet. I like the material that it's made out of, and I love that they decided to add different colors to the pages, and they just made a really good booklet with this one. Plus, you also have your Blu-ray disc, and then the back of it has some art from the film when it's raining in Italy. And that's kind of it for the packaging for Bicycle Thieves. It's a really good looking set, and I really like the way that they decide to keep it with the look of the original DVD release of Bicycle Thieves. That's it for the packaging for Bicycle Thieves, and yeah, I really like the packaging. I think that they did a really good job at being able to make a good booklet out of it and to keep it in this really nicely done Amaray packaging. Now, this isn't the first time that I've seen Bicycle Thieves. I remember seeing this film for the first time in my Italian cinema course with one of my favorite professors of all time, one of the people that I also consider to be my mentors. And he showed us this film when we were discussing the neorealist movement, and I fell in love with it. I really did. I thought that it was an incredible film about resiliency, about family, about love, and about what it means to have to navigate post-war society and try to put the good of your family, but also the good of the country in front of you while you all recover from a very devastating event like World War II. Now, on the second time, I can tell you that this movie does not get old. I mean, this movie is truly the masterpiece that it is. It is a cornerstone of Italian neorealist cinema. It is an incredible film that really does take the spirit of hungry filmmakers who want to discuss what happens in their country and what it looks like to have to navigate post-war, and decide to take those cameras into the streets of the country and really document life as it is through the lens of a narrative film. And Sica does that within Bicycle Thieves. He's able to take his limitations, like the film industry at the time, and be able to create a narrative that works out of all these limitations. It's not just a cornerstone of filmmaking, but it's a cornerstone of storytelling in general, and showing you that even in your limitations, in your work or your life or your relationships, everything really works out in the end when you have the passion and the drive to be able to move past these obstacles that are in your way. I love the performances, the music, and the cinematography as well. I mean, it's a film that truly does understand what it means to not just be an artist, but to showcase life as it is, and how important it is to never bend the truth, and to showcase the narrative as what it is and what it should be, and never present it as something that it's not. And I know that probably doesn't make sense, but if you watch Bicycle Thieves, you know what I mean. You know that the film really doesn't point the camera away from stuff. It really shows you everything that it needs to show, and it really showcases the really grim reality of what it is to recover from a major war. Now let's talk about the restoration. I watched this on my Panasonic 4K player on my TCL 4K TV, and it is a Blu-ray disc presenting a 4K digital restoration. So when I watched it, you're going to get a bit of the upscaling on my TV. It's not going to be native 4K, but it is going to be around like 2K, maybe a little bit above it. Nothing too drastic, to be honest. The transfer notes don't really offer much information other than the fact that they use the original nitrate 35mm film print. And I've got to say, when it comes to the way that this film looks on my TV, it is beautiful. Now, for reference, I watched this film on DVD way back in the day when I first watched it with my professor, and I noticed that it was a little, dirty. It was hard to kind of see a bit. The grain really overpowered the presentation, and I was a bit scared when I watched this film today. I said, oh, is it gonna look the same, or is it gonna be a different restoration? And my God, man, I really have to say that when it came to the way that it was showing on screen, especially with that upscaling, it brought out all of the features that I love about this movie. Yes, this is shot with film that is a little, not on the cheaper side, but it isn't the greatest. This is Italy coming out of the war, and they're shooting right in the streets, so you're not going to be using all the lighting that you would expect. But with what it's taking in and what it is presenting to you on the screen, the film looks fantastic restored. The contrast looks great, the brightness, the black and white levels, everything is balanced and it looks fantastic. The grain does not overpower the screen anymore. It is just the right amount of grain that makes it feel like a movie that's from 1948, but also doesn't overpower it to the point where you think, oh, this feels dirty, it looks dirty, and it looks like it really needs to be cleaned up. But Bicycle Thieves does its best work with what it's given, and I was just really happy because I know that this film is old. It's from 1948. It's not going to be the cleanest copy, but when we restore it and it looks like this, it's going to be around for many generations, and it's going to be able to look as good as you want it to be and also be preserved for years to come. The audio track, they pretty much removed hisses, clicks, and bumps and all those things that are in the magnetic track, so that way they can present a good audio track. And honestly, I didn't have any problems with it. Like I said, y'all, I don't really have a surround sound system, so I'll never be able to hear it clearly enough to the point where I can tell you like, oh, maybe this didn't work or maybe that did. But when it comes to what I was able to hear, it sounds great. Everything is leveled. There's no hissing, no clicks, nothing. Everything sounds like they actually did clean it up, and they were able to get a good soundtrack out of it. So when it comes to the audio, I'm not disappointed at all. Now, of course, when I do finally get a surround sound system, I'm sure that I'll be able to revisit these and give you all the accurate, review of what the audio tracks sound like. But for now, I've got to say that I really like the audio track, I really like the video track, and of course, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a movie that I can watch over and over again and learn something new about not just the neo-realist movement, but about Italy during World War II. And even though it is a heartbreaking film, there's a lot of instances where, it's hard to not smile, it's hard to not laugh, and it's a reminder that even in the darkest times, life has a way of bringing out the light in the dark. And because of that, I highly recommend Bicycle Thieves if you're wanting to pick it up during a sale. I mean, it's a movie that truly should be in the library of any cinephile and anybody who truly wants to learn more about foreign cinema, international cinema. You should watch this movie because it is one of the classics and it is a cornerstone of world cinema. To follow along with me on social media, make sure you follow me at The Nerd Chicano on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Letterboxd, Serialized, and on TikTok. I'm the same handle on all of them. So let's get to talking about movies. Follow me, I will follow you back. Check out the Nerdcore by checking out the website, thenerdcore.com, and our Twitch and YouTube channels, The Nerdcore. It's the same handle on both of those. Go and check it out, guys. We've been doing some pretty cool stuff over there. Next week, we're going to look at another film in my collection, but in the meantime, that's all for this review of Bicycle Thieves. I hope that you all enjoyed it. And of course, to my wonderful cinephiles and renowned scholars, celebrate the love of cinema today, tomorrow, and every day after. Catch you all in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.